Welcome to the exciting rebirth of Superstar, featuring choose your membership rate as low as just $3 a month. At Superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Hello, fabulous superstar Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. It will be on the 5th of the month that we will have this month's full moon. Now, this full moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with an understanding of a higher, more loving vision for your life, your career, your life purpose, your social standing as well. It has to do with your understanding of what it is that your destiny could be, the legacy that you're creating. And so full moons always bring with them illumination and culmination as well. But this particular full moon, I gotta say, there is a lot of very dramatic energy here, but thankfully, a lot of empowering energy as well. So the empowered energy, let's talk about that. Mars is continuing to move through a deeply consequential and powerful part of your sky, having to do with profound change and profound truth, having to do with your understanding of where it is that meaningful transformation has been occurring, but it also has to do with the resources available to you, your understanding of wealth as well. Whether it's personal truth or the truth of the things that help you to feel connected to a spirit of wealth. So this energy can be very literal, but it can also be more philosophical as well. It can be personal as well. Regardless, though, you understand the larger signification of what may be transpiring now, but also you're deeply connected to what your truth is. If it is that this energy is playing out in terms of career possibilities, you're looking at the element there that has to do with your ability to access resources to make those higher goals a reality. The other beautiful energy we have with this full moon is Jupiter moving into supreme harmony with the full moon. Now, Jupiter, of course, is continuing to move through a part of the sky for you that has to do with your daily life. And so, to me, when I see that, it does suggest that what you do well ends up facilitating massive blessings for you in the context of what you believe is possible for you with your career and the things that you hope to achieve. Just these energies do suggest that whatever transpires now, you're able to tap into it in a way that helps you to feel connected to a spirit of success. However, to get there, it's like the universe wants to throw in a wild card factor so that you appreciate that success that much more. And that is because we have some erratic energy with the Uranus in your opposite sign speaking in a conversation of tension with this full moon. And so whatever seems to transpire now can feel like it comes out of nowhere, and yet you figure out how to tap into it to your advantage. So one way this energy in very literal ways could show up now is a boss or person in position of authority very quickly and unexpectedly leaves. And that can be part of ultimately what has you scrambling and yet landing on top in some way. It could be now that you are feeling and tapping into a spirit of being more clear about what a higher, more loving vision for your life could be. And it is as a result of another person and their behavior, what you like, what you don't, that ends up being part of your motivation to make changes to align with it. It can feel like certain career opportunities very quickly end, but ultimately give ways to something even better. It is possible now that perhaps a path that you've been on with your career feels like it's no longer right for you, and you're able to make some sort of transition that ends up feeling much more empowering in the process. Now, regardless of whether this energy plays out with another, if it feels particularly shocking and has you scrambling, or whether this is more of an internal prompt of where it is that you are restless for change to occur and you don't want to wait for it anymore. Well, these are all the ways in which this energy can come together and feel rather uncertain and yet beautiful and empowered nonetheless. It will be on the 20th of the month that we will have this month's new moon. Now, this new moon takes place in fellow water sign Pisces, a part of the sky for you that has to do with tapping into what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life. Your understanding of what it is that makes you happy, your understanding of creative fulfillment and what self-actualization looks like for you. This part of the sky also has to do with the children in your life as well, or you feeling like a big kid. Now, this new moon is an interesting one for a few reasons. So one is, it is close in the sky to Saturn. However, this is what astrologers say is not a true conjunction, meaning that technically Saturn and the new moon are in different parts of your sky, but they're close enough together to be sharing energy. And so this can be very stabilizing, but it can also feel as if what is happening now is of great consequence. We also have this new moon speaking in harmony with the nodes. I love that. It can feel as if some of the best stuff has a flow to it. You can get a sense that whatever may be happening now is part of you aligning with what feels karmically for you at this point in your life. And that can be really beautiful. But other than that, I'm not seeing like big celestial planetary connections here, which does suggest that whatever's happening truly does represent a more pure beginning. It represents a seed moment, if you will. And so, of course, you can still tap into this energy to your advantage, but how you're able to bring that energy forward into different areas of life, well, that may take a little bit of time to truly understand. Having said that, though, look, at the very least, I think that there are going to be some Scorpios out there that are going to find this a time of like intentional, responsible fun, okay? And what I mean by that is, as much as I'd like to say, because this part of the sky has to do with what's fun for you to do, Saturn isn't really associated with, just letting your hair down, if you will. Whatever is done with a sense of consequence, of some larger desire and some sense of connection to what it is that you're hoping for in the bigger picture of your life as well. And so I feel as I look at this that chances are it's not just going to be about you doing what's fun and that's it, but rather it's like, how can you turn something that's fun for you into a practical endeavor? How can you take what brings you happiness into an entrepreneurial endeavor? It could be now that you are looking at your creative prospects and energy differently, wanting to turn it into something that aligns you with success. It could also be now that you're looking with greater consequence at your relationship with the children in your life and wanting to figure out how to be a best steward, a best teacher to them in their pathway forward from here. This is not energy that is snap your fingers quick, things change for you, but you'll get a sense that you're on a different pathway in some way that ultimately does align you with a spirit of heart and what it is that your heart truly desires. Now, normally this part of the sky is also associated with luck and windfalls. However, I got to tell you, I don't think that's very likely here. And the reason I say that is because Saturn is so close to the new moon. And Saturn is about what you earn, where you've already put in the time, where you've already put in the sacrifice, and then make gains from there. And so it isn't lottery energy, but it is energy here that says you can take steps to align with what it is that your heart truly wants and feel yourself more on that path than before. Now, where it comes to matters of love, this energy does suggest that you are feeling very connected to a sense of your heart's desires, and that includes romantically as well. On the one hand, it is going to be until the 20th of the month that Venus will be moving through this heart-oriented part of the sky. And this part of the sky, in addition to the things I just mentioned with the new moon, it has to do with romance and flirtation and you understanding what you really want in love, what makes you feel loved. Once we get that new moon, though, it can bring with it new opportunities to get your flirt on. Though I gotta say, Saturn being so close, it could end up being kind of awkward for you because Saturn normally is not necessarily an energy that is conducive to the lightness that flirtation necessarily asks for. That doesn't mean that you can't make the most of this time nonetheless. For those of you open to meeting someone new, I love the energy in the first part of the month with Venus moving through that heart-oriented part of the sky for you. You certainly are enjoying yourself and getting your flirt on. By the time we get to the new moon, though, I do think that you will likely feel more interested in connecting with people who have real long-term potential, and that could be the case here, though it does look like you may have to take it slow or pace yourself in some way to see if there could be potential there. For those of you just starting to date somebody, well, I do think the new moon represents a turning point for you. As much as I love Venus in this flirtatious part of the sky for you through the first part of the month, once we have that new moon, there's such a sense of consequence here. And so it could be with this person that you decide to move towards something that feels more stable. But it's also possible that you could connect with someone new where you feel that may be the direction you want to go in where it comes to the long term. Now, for those of you in an established bond, what a remarkable time this can be. Yes, your heart is alight with Venus through most of the month and the new moon as well. However, do keep in mind Uranus in your opposite sign is going to be speaking with that full moon on the 5th in a conversation of tension. That does suggest that it could be your partner now that in some way is part of that tension or rebellious spirit or the wild card, if you will, that ends up feeling like it throws you for a loop in some way where it comes to some other goals that you may have. And so it's ultimately going to be highly personal and individual, but it could be your partner now that encourages you to raise your standards in some way, encouraging you to see career events and opportunity differently so that you ultimately tap into some of the better, more empowered energies moving forward from here. But it could also be their behavior that in some way has you questioning whether or not this person is part of a higher, more loving vision for your life. By the time we get to the new moon, though, on the 20th, it's like you're able to be really honest with yourself about what your heart really wants. If this is the right relationship for you, that new moon will bring with it a depth of commitment. But if it is that, as a result of what takes place earlier in the month, you realize that this really might not be the right relationship for you, all of the truth of that may lead you to make a different choice once we get to that new moon. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It is a valuable and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say that I love that heart-oriented new moon. I mean, the full moon is just so erratic. It could take you all over the place, but ultimately you will land on top. But it's that new moon that brings with it a measure of inner certainty and stability. You know what it is at that new moon that your heart truly desires and what it is that's going to make you happy. And in that place of knowing, you find stability and strength. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month. Would choose your membership rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.